Welcome back, gamers of all variety, to some more Robocraft here on GamerGuide channel. I am Wraulin, and today we're going to be talking about some of the upcoming events and happenings coming up in Robocraft, and I'll be showing you some of my new robots. But before we do that, let me tell you about a new premium code that will get you a day of premium. It is Plans 25th, all in capitals, just like that. If you haven't already seen it, make sure to do that to get you 1 day of premium so you can get those extra slots if you don't already have premium or you're not currently paying for the game. There has been a lot of news, and since I've been kind of focusing a lot on other games recently, I thought I'd come back and just kind of give you an update in bulk. There is going to be a new update next week that will be bringing clans to the game, which is really exciting, and also giving us a host of other improvements as well, though the official notes on those improvements have not been posted and they probably won't be until next week. So you guys might be wondering, what exactly am I looking at right now? This is one of my brand new hovers called Hyrazah, and I got the idea from one of our viewers actually, Keith. If you're watching, Keith Wingit had suggested trying a hover with a big mega hover in the middle. So I thought it sounded like a great idea, so I went ahead and used 2 of the connection points for my healing guns. Originally I had tried this out with some of my sniper rifles, but I'm not really a big fan of sniper rifles on hovers, so I went back to plasma, heals, and SMGs. It seems to be a good combo. Added lots of hovers on both sides, so it's extremely hard to knock this thing out of flight, as you have to take out an entire one side of hovers, and even then the central hover also has to be gone for it to become unstable. So fantastic little hovercraft, and it's not at max CPU. It's level 134 if I remember correctly. So a little bit more about the design on it. I used a lot of struts on the bottom and top to reinforce this kind of circle structure I made for the central hover, and also reinforced front and back with arrow rods in the center, so it's a really tough hovercraft. Put the extra hover blades on the very outside for stability, and also to make people aim and miss shots easier by having them on the far outside. And you'll have to knock off, like I was saying, like 5 hovers to get this thing to really get unstable. So it turned out to be a pretty good looking design, and a pretty good design too, and something that you don't have to necessarily be 1750 to play. This particular vehicle is up on the GamerGuide account, and so if you're interested in checking it out, definitely do that. The other vehicle I'll be showing off later, called Mechrasect, that one is going to be up on the Wraulin account, so I'll post that down in the description too if you were interested in checking out any of the bots I'm playing at this particular time. And by the way, next time for Robocraft I'll be doing a bot shop review, as I've had some people asking, and I already have some things picked out that I'm going to be showing off. I have a quick little note here before we start talking about clans. The chat in-game right now is not currently working if you're in Platoon, or you're talking with somebody in friend chat, or if you're in a game. Now, if you're in general lobby, the chat works fine, but if you guys have been wondering why no one in game is chatting, currently it seems that chat is down for some reason, so just keep that in mind. But that does kind of bring me back into the notes I wanted to talk about. With clans, we're going to be getting a host of improvements on the 25th, and one of those things is going to be improved chat. We'll be able to scroll in chat now and go back up and see what people have said, and also have larger chat and just a little bit better all around is what they're saying. That's going to be slated to be coming out next week with some of the other improvements for clan play. So this whole thing is aimed at increasing the retention of players in late game and mid game. So if you feel like everything, wow, I'm getting my face blown off here. If you feel like everything recently has been slated towards getting new gamers to spend money, well, this will be a little bit more slated towards keeping some of the longer playing gamers like myself and stuff entertained and in the game. So you guys might be wondering, well, what am I planning to do for clans? I've been thinking about joining Atlas Core, and there's someone I've known in Atlas Core, and he invited me a while ago, and I just kind of always kept it on the back burner because there wasn't really a clan system in the game. So I'm thinking about doing that. I have thought about making a gaming clan of some sort too, but I don't really have the extra time when I'm doing YouTube and working a couple jobs to also run a clan effectively, so I'd probably want someone else to be the clan leader. And I know Baron Toter is clan leader for Atlas Core, and so I think he does a good job, and there's a lot of other good gamers and stuff in that as well. So one of the cool things we're going to be getting with the clan patch also is they're going to be adding in robots into crates when you play with a clan or you play with a team of players alongside the loot that you normally get. So now we'll have some raw resource, kind of like RP before, where you'll be able to just pick up some. It's going to be a modest amount, they said, but enough to incentivize people to play together or play with their clan. So that should definitely change up Robocraft, and it should make it a little easier to get some of those parts, especially the legendaries and stuff that cost so much. And if you're newer to Robocraft, so you'll be able to cut down some of that time it takes to get the parts that you're really wanting. And if the crates are not cooperating, play with the clan enough and you should be able to buy it yourself. Man, those chain shedders are good at close distance. They got me pretty good there. Anyway, some of the other things that are coming up in the next week's patch is a new map they've been talking about. At least I think it will be in the next week's patch. Not 100% on that, but they're working on a new Earth map. It was covered in the AMA, and it's going to be a crash spaceship on Earth, one that is big enough where you can fly into it and fight inside the ship's bays and different areas. And it's set up for the pit, battle arena, and league play. So some of the towers themselves will be inside the spaceship from what I hear. So it should be a totally different kind of aesthetic. We probably will have grass and trees and stuff like you see on other Earth maps. But that sounded pretty neat, and I'm definitely looking forward to that upcoming improvement. As you guys might remember, in the last Quality of Life poll, Sprinter Legs had won the contest, and they were slated to come into the game. I got a little bit of update from the AMA. It sounds like it's still about 6 weeks out. So that will not be going live this month, but next month we should be looking forward to getting those Sprinter Legs in the game. They're going to be a little bit more human-shaped leg instead of being like the mech legs that are in the game now, or the insect legs. And they'll have a long jump instead of a high jump, and be a little lighter weight too. So thrusters should be able to affect these new legs, and you'll be able to run faster if you stick a bunch of thrusters on. So it'll be interesting, some other variety to play with. Of course, tracks and wheels are also slated for an entire rework. So I hope that they'll add some more abilities. They're certainly going to be able to strafe, but the way they handle and the way they move and the speed they go are all going to be redone. And their objective is going to be to try to make them kind of as cool as mech legs. So I did hear mech legs, they were considering a nerf for it. The nerf that I saw was about being able to recover after you jumped. So if you can't jump over and over and over again, there'd be some kind of recovery timer. I don't really like that idea. I hope they leave mech legs alone and they just make tank tracks and wheels a lot more cool. But that was something that Sergey, I believe, had said in the AMA. Another thing slated for a total overhaul is going to be electroplates, which I'm really happy about, as electroplates, you know, they regenerate just like every other block, but then they have their own regeneration time, and it doesn't seem as good as just having regular blocks in the game. And so that has kind of been talked about in the AMA too, and something they're planning to do in the future. Will it come out with the clan packs next week? Probably not. I'm not planning on it, but in the meantime, at least they've addressed that, yes, they recognize that electroplates need some love. But I mean, they're not super terrible. They are usable, and I have a lot of vehicles that use lots of electroplates, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how that rework comes. But I'm hoping they just make them tougher, or change something about them so you don't have to wait so long to get the ability back for them. But as you see here, you know, with Kuli's Ball of Doom, they are super tough and they are useful as long as you rotate. They're going to be a lot more hardy than a regular block. But for block, as far as the trade-off goes, it's still better using regular cubes than using electroplates, as long as you can take the other guy out before he gets you. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that change, as I've been thinking for a while that electroplates really needed some love. This is the first time I think I'm rooting for a shuriken to kill something here. Get the Kuli ball. Cut him in the face. Let's see if we get it. Normally I would skip over this part in the video, but there we go. That was satisfying to watch him get murdered. So basically that is the big news that is happening, and the stuff I could kind of glean from the AMA they did recently after reading through that. There is going to be a special event this week called the Temporal Rift event. It's going to be from the 19th through 21st. There's not really any specifics yet on what this event is going to be. I've heard some other players speculate, though, that they think it might be a reduced cool-off time on modules. but this has not been confirmed yet as far as the official news goes. But there'll be some more on that later in the week, so if you're in Robocraft, just keep an eye out for it, and if you have some time to play this weekend, I will likely be on, and probably in the evening on Sunday at some point. So you can look for me in Robocraft then. So let's get back into the game here now that we're kind of finished talking about the new upcoming stuff. With the least of information that I have currently, I'll put out some more, of course, next week in another Robocraft video. But let's just go ahead and see if we can take this core down now and finish this game out strong. And then I'm looking forward to showing you my next robot too, Mechrasect, something that I like a lot, which is a helicopter combination with mech. Alright, well I got murdered there. I'm certainly not death-free in this game, but I do like this little tanky vehicle, and it does do a pretty good job. Let's see if we can knock this guy out from our area. There we go. I really am a believer in pretty much always having plasma on your vehicle since it does so much damage. Mark seems to think too in the AMA that Mega Plasma is a little bit overpowered. Mega Plasma is certainly good, but it uses so much energy. I don't really think it's overpowered because you have to be a really good shot to get it to work. But I do kind of agree that the flat cannon seems like it's underpowered, as pretty much SMGs are better right now at anti-air and way cheaper. I feel like flak needs to do more damage against air units, especially if you're going to have to deal with that huge hitbox on it, or it should be better at hitting land units if it's not going to be a better air weapon than SMGs are currently. So I was glad to see that little statement from him. They also said in the AMA too that arrow rods they thought could maybe use a nerf. Sergey had mentioned something about wanting to do it, but then Mark was like, no, I'm not so sure, we might just make everybody angry again. So I thought that was interesting. You know, they had also addressed some of the issues people have had with crates and stuff. Of course, they're going to be keeping crates because it does make free jam good money, and I can understand that for sure. But I'm glad that they're going to be adding in these extra robots into crates for clan play, making it a little bit easier for everybody to get parts going forward. So let's just keep out of the way here for a second so we don't get our face blasted off by missiles. And we'll go back and loop around and see if we can sneak into their base and take down that tower finally. Lots of helicopters lately, I've noticed, and lots of chain shredder variant flyers as well too, especially helicopters I've noticed. It's kind of become the new meta. And then a good amount of mechs too. I did see some other rocket mechs recently, and I've noticed that my last rocket mech's been selling pretty well too, the gargoyle from last week. So thank you guys if you purchased it. I noticed a lot of people had thumbs that up, and the other one that's actually selling really good on my accounts is the flying egg from a little while ago. But another fun module craft that I made, actually using electroplates, but it's a really tiny thing. Anyway, let's see what we get in our crates here from that victory. We ended up getting top spot, which is nice when you can get it, and anything good? Nope, just the regular old rare stuff for the most part, and uncommon, which is not uncommon at all. So here is the new one, Mechrasect, and it's a combination of helicopter and mech. I've seen some other people attempt things like this. I know Lathrix had made a combination helicopter and mech to start with, and I saw something real similar to my design in the game when I was playing the Hovercraft a little bit ago. But I didn't use anybody else's design. I just kind of had an idea for what I wanted to do. Definitely wanted to have 6 helicopter blades on the back for redundancy, and then I'm using 2 of the Colossus legs. I didn't go for the Titan, just the next step down, to free up some of the CPU for my weapon set. Of course, on the front, plasma, devastators, and then I'm using a shotgun to kind of keep those shurikens away from me when I'm flying. That's kind of the idea, to keep close proximity vehicles at bay. And then I have a missile launcher for fighting other aircraft and other land vehicles too, which is kind of fun. For the most part though, I try to use my Mega Plasma whenever I can. And then, as I've always kind of recommended to players on the channel here, always try to put healing guns on your vehicle, as it lets you score in that extra category. And healing is very good in the game, even though people auto-heal. It can keep your ally in a fight longer, and it's a great way to get a lot of extra points. So I put 2 Menders on the top, 3 of the Devastators, and then a Missile Launcher and the Ion Distorter. Or is it Disruptor? Because it's Ion Disruptor on the side. The Distorter's a little guy. Mechrasect flies really easily, and it feels super lightweight when you're walking around on the mech legs, too. It feels like it weighs nothing. I had to put some downward thrusters on it to kind of help it come down quickly, as that's real important if you're about to get hit with missiles or something, or somebody's aiming at you. You might want to get out of the sky quickly, so that's why I have 2 of the thrusters on the back of it, and then I have 2 facing forward to make you speed along when you're up in the air. So I like it a lot. It's a good little robot, and then I did kind of the cosmetics to look like kind of a helicopter slash mech hybrid cockpit, which works pretty nicely. So it's a lot of fun to play. Is really maneuverable and pretty fast too, which is kind of fun when you're playing a mech. As usually you're just hoping to get up in the air high enough with your jump hovers to get a little speed coming down. But with this thing, you can really zoom around the map, so I like that a lot. The center of mass on this guy is a little bit behind the main part of the robot before the, or right about where you see the downward thrusters, which works well for those downward thrusters, so you don't do like flips and stuff and somersaults when you're trying to go up and down. And then, of course, you have really good momentum when you come off the ground just from jumping with your mech legs, so it works really nice. Anyway, so this is my first attempt at a helicopter mech, and it is the full 1750 CPU, so you will need to have all your levels up there. Oh, just got murdered in the face. It's not invincible, but it is a pretty tough little helicopter mech combination, and a lot of fun to play, so definitely check that out. Like I said, this one is actually on the Wraulin account, which is kind of backwards. I normally put my real good hovercrafts on Wraulin and my good mechs on GamerGuide, but in this case, I've kind of done it the other way around, as I want a little variety when I'm playing with the other account. So I'm kind of also curious on what's going to be happening when we have the clans as far as my multiple accounts too. It might be more advantageous just to play one account with your friends more often if there's going to be some extra perks and stuff for doing that. But if it's just extra robots and stuff, then I guess it won't affect the game too much. But they've talked about adding incentives basically for clan play, and it might be more than just robots. It's at least kind of sounding like there could be some recognition too for how well your clan does and what your ranking is in the clan. And then they said that it won't be in this patch, but they've also considered having games be custom games, so you can just pick certain people on the opposition to face against your clan. So they're definitely working on those aspects, and they're working to make Robocraft a more social game and something you can play with your friends a lot easier, and your clanmates too, which I think a lot of you guys will be liking. So I'm definitely looking forward to the changes. It's going to be really cool. Alright, so anyway, let's get back here into the match. There we go, we got that tower down. If we could just fly in here real quick and take some of these crystals out. We're still a little early into the match, so it's not doing a lot of damage yet to the tower. Wait till this guy comes around and just nuke him a little bit. And hopefully the chain gun will be able to take him out too. See if I can get him with my flak gun. There we go. Finally put it to use. Oh, I just lost all my rotor blades, but that's the nice thing about the mech legs. Let's see if we can take this guy out with some missiles up there while he's just pegging me with his single or double SMG. Pretty slow fire rate on that. There we go. We got him. Hey guys, while I'm talking to you here, if you would thumbs up this video, I'd appreciate that very much. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what some of the new robots you've been making are. And if you have any interesting ideas for a robot, you might leave that down in the comments below. I was kind of messing around with my builds this week, and I was like, you can make a tank roll when it's 3 slots up. So what happens if you would put a tank with sleds underneath it, which would affect the movement type first, whether it be the sleds that it's sitting on or the tank track. And of course it didn't work well at all, but I was just like, I wonder if we get some kind of weird combination. But if you guys have any ideas for weird movement types or fun little things to try out in a robot that could actually be viable, let me know down below. If you are new here to the channel, please consider subscribing. I play games like Robocraft here, and then also Scrap Mechanic, Crossout, and Galactic Junk League are a couple others that I like to frequent. Don't always record them, and pretty much Robocraft is my mainstay, and one of my favorite games right now too. My other favorite game, if you guys have noticed, is come out this last week, No Man's Sky, which actually came out to boos and hisses for the most part on the Steam forums, but actually in the camp of people who actually really like No Man's Sky. And even though it has some shortcomings, it's a really good game. It's a good exploration game. It's something I've been enjoyed playing. I notice I don't have a huge following of people watching No Man's Sky, so you might see less videos and not only less videos, but more well-produced videos instead of streaming content, which is kind of good for you guys if you just wanted to see several hours of play in just a couple of minutes instead of having to watch an entire stream. But anyway, guys, that's another thing that's happening on the channel now too, as I am enjoying it, even if a lot of people aren't yet watching the No Man's Sky gameplays I'm doing. Anyway, it looks like we're close to winning here. Got that guy with missiles. I don't know why I switched over to missiles there. I should have stayed on plasma. And just a couple more shots here, and we should wrap this match up. So I am pretty happy with the Mechrasect. It is a pretty good combination, and it is pretty fun to play too. And I'm surprised how lightweight it feels when you're on your mech legs too. But it actually works. I tried, something like this with tank tracks and wheels, and it just didn't really work as well as with mech legs. So anyway, we did get the victory there. Very nice, and we did die once, but got some assists. Came in second slot there, just barely getting eked out by our teammate. But let's see what we get in our diamond chest, and then I'm probably going to wrap this up until I see you guys next time. Like I said, the next episode is going to be a shop review, and I already have something picked out for that shop review, so definitely come back and check that out real soon. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Still working at 5,000 subscribers, and I look forward to seeing you guys here again in my next video. Later.